review of Heart and Hustle Houston. I am actually excited about this review because this episode was really good to me. And I do hope that this show gets picked up for another season, okay? So we're back with the irrelevant argument between Shaniqua, Shakita, Bonita with Ro. And having a back and forth for no reason because Shaniqua was bothered and pressed by Tori saying she didn't remember her. And Ro called her out. She said, I'm not about to spaz out with this bitch. I'm trying not to. This bitch and this Timu wig, get her away from me. So we see Chloe and Elena trying to comfort her. Tori walks off. She said, okay, I'm done. Once she said this, I'm out. Deuces. I think Ro went the opposite direction to calm down. And Chloe and Elena were just wondering, how did we get here? Like, why are you tripping? Why'd you call her a bitch? Chloe is definitely feeling embarrassed and regretting the fact that she invited Shaniqua to Ladies' Night. Because she thought that Shaniqua was coming in being the light that we can have an extra piece of sunshine. But no, she ruined the whole event. I am so embarrassed. You should, Chloe, because we don't need Shaniqua. We don't need her, okay? So moving on, we got Tori. She invites all the ladies so they can unload, take a breath of all the drama that they have gotten into recently. But she also wants to let them know about this big event she's happening soon. I believe it's the city of Houston is honoring 20 women that are bosses, entrepreneurs in the making. And she also wants to honor 2 women from the group. Tori had me confused because she couldn't remember the name of her event. Either it's History in the Making or Ladies in the Making. It was something of that nature. So she tells Ro and Elena she's honoring them. They are all surprised. Everybody congratulates them. You know, Elena is a very talented makeup artist, and she should recognize her talent, especially what she had going on. She should look at where her career has taken her to. And Ro, she has dominated a male industry. She's in the club scene. She knows how to open business, how to consult, how to manage. She should get the respect that she deserves. And I do think that that's something that Tori sees in Ro. Ro doesn't believe she is owed any recognition. Like she's not doing enough to be recognized when she's doing more than enough. So then they discuss the disaster of what happened at Chloe's single ladies night. Because she said after the rodeo, I did talk to Shaniqua. I thought she was a cool person. I wanted to bring her around. But Elena came in and said, no, it didn't look like that because she came in heavy when she first walked in. Tori said, listen, if she wanted to clear the problem, she could have cleared it up. But to put out that narrative that me and you know each other and to say I've only communicated with her through Facebook and then bring out a stack of receipts to prove that you know me, I don't have time for that. So Chloe feels bad for inviting her and she feels responsible for what took place. And I guess she didn't know her like she thought she did. No, you didn't, Chloe. After one conversation you had it at the rodeo and how you might have had a couple of conversations here and there, you really didn't know her. I don't know if production put you up to it just to give us a splash of, what kind of drama could occur on this show, but that's manufactured. That's not real. We were already dealing with little drama here and there that we were excited to see it unfold and see it resolve and move on to the next. We were already getting that. We did not need Shanita being plucked in to force us to have all this extra drama. We didn't need it. So Ro talks about her reaction with how she interacted with Shaniqua, and she kind of felt like I didn't want to pop off like that, and I didn't want to return to that person I thought I'd grown from. You know, I was trying to calm down, I was trying to talk, and then she cried on the way home and realized that her behavior could have been different. She didn't need to give off that kind of energy, but everybody was telling her she was great. You handled that with such care, with such class, because you reacted to you being provoked, and you were provoked. She called you out your name. So you walked away like the grown adult that you are because she didn't want to embarrass herself in front of all black establishment, in front of black women. She didn't want to turn to that person again. Ro has shown so much growth and recognize her parts and how she used to operate and that she's trying to do better and think better. I love that about Ro. You know, she talks about her upbringing, how she used to fight a lot. You know, she grew tough. And there are times where she didn't even think. She would just react. And she realized that once she said that to me, I could have walked away. But you did, though. You did walk away. You defended yourself as you should have. You called out the bullshit as you should have. And you walked away. Give yourself a pat on the back though, bro. Don't make it seem as if everybody's gonna look at you differently. They're not. They're recognizing that you are trying to be better. You are trying to do better. They are recognizing that in you. Give yourself some credit. So Tori has to get up and leave because it is the anniversary of her father's passing. So her and her sisters have decided to go to a comedy club because her father loved to laugh. That's a beautiful thing. And that is something to keep light and still keep a memory of him. Shout out to Tori. So they all leave. That scene is over. All right, so now we move on to Elena. We get into her home life where she has two children, a girl and a boy, and her mom comes by. Her mom is called Mimi, which is a new way of being called grandma. You know, new generations of today, grandmothers don't want to be called grandmothers no more or grandmas. Okay, they have a whole new name. And we get more into Elena's upbringing. You know, she was raised into being perfect by her mother. And because she strives so hard to be perfect, it kind of trickled down to how she's operating as an adult. But it's kind of an awkward interaction between the two of them. I'm not seeing a lot of affection between them as mother and daughter. But Elena recalls the time that her mom showcased how she can have an amazing career in makeup because Elena was around 15 or 16 years old and she was doing her friends' makeup. She wasn't charging them, it was all free. So when the mom sees all these teenage girls coming in and out of her house, she's like, what's going on here? You doing their makeup? Are they paying you? Elena said, no, why? Oh, girl, you buying your product and you doing their makeup for free? No, 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 no. We got to market this. Okay? And the next day, she printed up business cards for Elena. And that's how her career got started. Shout out to Mama Linda for that. That's a true testament that when your mom can see you and see a future that you haven't seen it yet, we're going to put it into fruition. We're going to manifest it. And claps for that, okay? Recognizing how talented her daughter was. She said, oh, baby, you got a gift. And it needs to be shown to the world. So Elena was just telling her mom about what she got going on. You know, she's been journaling a lot lately, you know, writing down. She realized that she puts a lot of time for her children. She puts a lot of time in her husband and her business, but never really anything for herself. So she has been around a group of friends who is teaching her self-care. And ooh, when I tell y'all, self-care has been amazing for me for the last couple of years. I love self-care. And her mom was like, I'm glad you got that because I didn't have it, nor did I have the ability to teach you of having that. Because the mom definitely went through the same process of saving face to not reveal what she had going on because she wanted to keep things under wraps, keep things perfect, and she wasn't focusing on her own happiness. So we get into Elena's father, that her mom had to deal with a lot in order to stay with him until she's ready to let it go. Turns out her father was an alcoholic, and I guess it was not a good environment to be in. But her mom didn't know how to get out of it until she was ready to get out of it. Because the way that she endured living with a man that was an alcoholic, we see Elena operating in that same mindset of pretty much staying with an habitual cheater that she hasn't fully reached her breaking point to leave. And it's not normal to be raised into believing I'm supposed to just smile through the pain, but I'm not really happy. So the mom defended the fact that, you know, we have to handle certain things for a while till we reach our breaking point, which eventually happened. She did leave her father, but because of who her father was and how he treated the mom, Elena was never taught about how a man should treat her. So when Josh cheated on her when they were engaged, she just accepted it. Justified that this is what a lot of women go through. I'm not the only one, so it is what it is. I just think that there was a moment in Elena where she probably felt like a lot of women would have judged her, would have criticized her for not marrying that man. Probably would have been like, you know how much money we spent on this? What you mean you leaving him? Girl, that's the best man you're ever going to have. You know, all of those doubts that people would have put in Elena's mind instead of her trusting her own instinct that this man isn't supposed to treat me like this. But Elena didn't know any better because she wasn't taught on how to spot when a man is supposed to treat her. So the fact that this was something that she accepted, this is something that she just dealt with. and she hasn't healed from it. And of course, all we got is that, but there's been other things that Elena is still not being honest about. And we only have a few more episodes left, Elena. You're going to have to keep it a buck and speak on what else has occurred in your marriage besides that. So realizing that she, really don't have a lot of time for herself like she wants to. And she never has enough time in the day to be there for Josh. And the mom like, okay, you do what you got to do. It builds character. Like the mom is just kind of like dismissing what Elena wants to do as far as to make things better. But it put a pause on Elena to mention where things are at between her and Josh. How they're sleeping in separate bedrooms. Because she doesn't believe that her mom would respond the way she's supposed to. It is pretty much, you doing what you want, you doing what you have to do, right? It's one of those mothers who know that their daughter is hurting, but they don't know how to operate by giving their daughter the support, the confidence that she needs to know that she is worth more than this. You got this. This man is not the only man out there. This man don't define you. She doesn't know how to receive that because nobody told her that. That's why Elena appears to be somebody with a lack of confidence. Because in the confessional, she's saying that my mom wants me to act like I'm all happy. Me and Josh are happy, but she's not happy. She cannot fake being happy because it's not real. I'm having a hard time. So because she's in that space in her marriage, it's something that she shouldn't have allowed, but she doesn't know what else to do. She's complacent. And I guess there's been some distance between her and her mother because her mom does not come by as much as she wants to. So it's like, don't act like you don't want to come by when I want you to come by. You have so many things to do. You make time for what you want to make time for. So it's like, I want you to come over. I want to just talk. We never just talk. Y'all keep things surface. Y'all not being real. So she's seen the similarity between her and her mother, and it's the same thing. She doesn't feel like she's good enough in any category of being a good wife or a good mother, because nothing she does is good enough, and that's not good. I want Elena to see some therapy for that, because if you can't even be good enough for your mom to come around just to have talk, just to spend time with one another, you don't think you're being a good wife because you are putting boundaries, you're putting what you were expecting out of Josh to be a better husband. It's crazy, Elena. I want you to dig deep inside you to realize you're worth more than this. You don't have to turn into somebody that needs to be liked and loved. No, you already her. You just need to get back to her. But let's move on. So now we get into Tori's event. It is the history in the making for honoring 20 women in business. She partnered up with her brother, who's an attorney, and it was a great turnout. The first award goes to Ro for hospitality because she knows how to open up a business, to consult, she manages. And I feel happy that Tori put her up for this award. And Ro definitely felt the recognition. She took a time to reflect and realize how far she's come because since she's never really gotten the credit that she deserved for operating in this male-dominated industry, she never thought she would get recognition. And the fact that she got it, it should let Ro know you are doing a damn thing. You are making a difference. You're doing a lot. You're putting the work in and people are recognizing the work that you put in. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself some flowers. Really. The next award goes to Elena for her being a successful makeup artist. And she was recognized and honored for something because she is a successful makeup artist, okay? She put years into this career. And the list goes on and on. We got international artists, we got rappers, people in entertainment, and that's what I love about this show. We're getting everything that is not forced, it's not fake, it's real, it's authentic. While these ladies are showing us their real inside look of their lives, we're still keeping up with the main idea, the main plot. We're honoring women who supports other women. We're honoring them in business. We're honoring them in lives. We're supporting one another. We're showing up. And that's what I love about this show. It's so good to me. And shout out to Tori for hosting an amazing event. This is obviously her lane. She knows how to work the room, make people feel comfortable. That food do look good. Then when we get to the table with all the ladies, they open about the Shanita problem. Chloe says she feels responsible for what took place. And she believes that Shanita owes everybody an apology, which I do agree. And she wanted to know, is anybody willing to sit down and talk to her about it? Tori is out because I don't want to be around somebody who feels the need to prove that they know me. If I know you, I do. If I don't, I don't. You don't have to make it an issue that you want to prove that you know me or that I know you, which I have to agree. And Ro is definitely more affected by it because she was the one that was disrespected the most out of this situation. And Chloe is upset that it got to this point because it did not need to get to this point. So we're going to see how Ro is willing to sit down and talk to Shanita. I will say this though. I'm happy that Chloe is accepting the part that she played because I don't see how Chloe telling Shanita that Tori didn't remember her brought all of this. Chloe probably said it in a playful manner and thought it wouldn't have been that deep, but Shanita took it as a way to have a splash, have a moment, because she wants to be on this show. Y'all want to push Shanita in front of us. We don't want Shanita here. And I also love the fact that when we do see girls who bring in new people into the group, the girl who was already an original of the group never takes accountability when she is bringing in new people, and how she didn't know it was going to get this bad. She never thought it was going to be like this, and she runs away from accountability. And we like, see, that's why people are not going to trust you later down the line. I'm not seeing that in Chloe. I'm seeing Chloe realize the part that she played. She's accepting the part that she played, and she's trying to fix it. Love that. I also love that nobody's really taking in that consideration, looking at Chloe sideways, because they probably know Chloe. They know she's not like this, so they're like, you know what, it's not even you, it's her. Love it, love it, love it. So let's move on. We get Brina at her ranch, okay, playing with her daughter with her little swing set. Chloe comes by because she felt mostly connected to Brina when they went to their therapy lunch, especially about the struggles of being a teen mom and motherhood, and it opened her eyes of the things that she wasn't paying attention to. So she says, Brina's probably the only person I can talk to when it comes to this, because I don't know who else to go to. I'm happy you went to Brina. Brina is very level-headed. So we get to Brina's struggle of how she's trying to understand how her son wants to split his time with his father and live with his mother. And it's not working for Brina because she's upset that it is compromising his grades. Now, here I'm thinking that this was already a made decision of how he was splitting time with his dad. No, this literally came out the blue suddenly. Her son said he wants to split time and live with his dad. And of course, Brina couldn't say nothing about it. She opened that door, and that's been the case. And I discovered that it wasn't like a 50-50 thing. As far as like he spends 1 week here, 1 week off. They literally split the week itself. She gets him 3 days out the week, and he gets him 3 days out the week, which I do look at a very complicated schedule. But the way that Brina is opening the conversation is looking a bit one-sided to me, because the arrangement was sudden, and then we get a flashback of them in the car where she is telling him, you know, I understand you want to go be with your dad, but your grades are slipping. You want to play football, right? So you need to keep up with your grades, otherwise you won't be able to play. Because I don't know what you do when you go over there, but I don't think you're as motivated as you need to be. So she figures if she takes him away from his father, then they can provide more opportunities for him. They can keep him stable, keep him on a schedule, and set him up for the future. But of course, she can't make that decision for him. He has to make it. I am not liking that tone of conversation though, Brina, because you're making it as if you think the daddy not doing nothing. The daddy's not pulling his weight. We don't know that. We haven't heard his side. We're not sure if we're going to get his side or there's a season 2, because this just sprung on us, right? Because you're putting it as if you're the more stable parent and that you know more than the father. Because how did it come about your son asking to live with his father? Has his father always been there? This is now more of a, I can't find the word, but it's kind of like, I guess, putting the action into it. Since he is going to get older, this is him entering high school, this is a whole different situation. It's like you're not giving the father a chance to show up and be the father that he needs to be to his son. Because you're too busy saying it's because of him, his grades are slipping, where there's no proof of that. So wondering, is it because the dad is more fun and it's not as structured? She said that could be it, but again, it's very one-sided though, Brina, and I'm not liking this tone of conversation. I get it, but the way you're trying to take the son away from the dad is not really working in your favor. It's not going to look good. And the advice you're going to give Chloe was amazing. I just hope that you take it for yourself. So this is where Chloe is giving kudos to Brina about how she has a structured household, because Chloe doesn't remember the last time she put her foot down in regards to her son, because since her son is older, she felt like she didn't need to worry about him as much. Then we get into Chloe being a mom at 19 as well. She was going to college, getting her master's, and her son was everywhere with her. He was there in classes while she was getting her master's. They grew up together. But somewhere along the line, she ended up overlooking him. She was never concerned about whether or not he was feeling okay or what was wrong with him, but thought that she just knew him based off of their time being together. And trust me, being the firstborn child myself, I did a lot with my mom as well. And as I've gotten older, there have been some times my mom wasn't aware of how I was feeling either, but it wasn't on purpose. She just had a lot going on, and I understood that. And it definitely showcased this change when her husband passed, and how she put a lot of responsibilities on her son Nico that he shouldn't have been doing. She said he wasn't ready for that responsibility. She didn't consider his feelings. She put all of her attention on her daughters, and she admits that she was wrong for doing that. Now, Chloe was really going through it, okay? But she did not tap into Nico like she should have, wonder how he was feeling, because she was going through her grief of losing her husband, which is understandable. But you were a mother first before you became a wife, and you should have always been tapped into your children. She hasn't asked Nico how he's been since her husband passed. He's been quiet. He hasn't shown his emotions, which I can understand as far as him being a young man. I don't know if he was given the space to be open about his feelings or being vulnerable. And she never really took the time to ask, because she was operating on autopilot, you know, figuring things out for her daughters, figuring things out for her business, and she just wasn't sure. And sometimes when your kids are older, you don't think that they're having any problems. You think that they're just being typical adults, not trying to tell you everything. But no, that's not the case. He definitely was going through it. Hence why he didn't show up to the gravesite. He wasn't ready. And I don't think he'll ever be ready. And Brenda is like, listen, don't pay attention to what you are worried about, what he's thinking. Just show him love. Just don't stop giving him love, okay? Have you ever said you loved him? Have you ever tapped into that? She was like, no. I don't think I ever remember the last time I ever told him how I loved him. And then as far as how he's already hurting from this, we get into how he's felt about her dating a younger man. And that's caused a lot of issues. Brina was right. She said, listen, you need to take a step away from that. Your priorities are your children. Put all your energy into them, okay? That man will be there if he wants to be there. While your son is 24, you still got to be there for him. Time could be running out. We got to make sure you're spending enough time with them as you can, okay? At the same time, you know, she's talking about what he wants to do with his life. You know, he does have a plan B or C. He wants to be a rapper. And she said, I don't know if I can support him on that, because I don't want that for him. I want him to think more. But like Brenda said, don't think like that for him. Just be there to support him. I'm not letting go of Chloe's feelings of wanting her son to think more than just being a rapper. He should have a plan B or C. That's what mothers do. I'm going to be there to support you on what you want to do right now, but I'm going to always be there to help you come up with another plan. And she said, as much as I know it to be true, Jordan is on the back burner. My son is in the forefront. I need to be there for my son. I need to show love to my son. I need to be there for him. She loves her son so much. But because she loves him so much, he's not sure if he has felt it in a while. I am so proud of Chloe for taking accountability of how she wasn't paying enough attention to her son when she needed to. She don't want to ever stop living her life though, but she should always tap into her children, because she wants nothing but her son to be happy, but he doesn't know that. He hasn't heard that from you. And I said it before, it could be some things that Nico wasn't really able to express. He's going through his own grief as well, as we can see. But shout out to Brina for being a real friend to Chloe. Shout out to Chloe for taking accountability, because it is very rare you see a mother admit that she made a mistake with her children, that she didn't do this, that she didn't do that. We see so many mothers on reality TV make excuses for what they would have done with their children, how they should have treated their children. Even after their kids are growing and out the door living their life, most mothers never be held responsible. They never take accountability for what they've done to shape their children or how they grown up in this world. I'm so happy that Chloe recognizes it and she's willing to work for it. She's willing to work towards it to make it better. Love it, love it, love it. So now we get Chloe. She is having a sit down with her son, you know, to talk about how she hasn't been able to see him and there've been some distance between them. You know what I'm saying? And she's definitely taking her friend's advice versus listening to her boyfriend and reminiscing how they would hang out a lot. But that was when he was 16. And I haven't tapped into you like I needed to, especially with not knowing how you are as a 24-year-old. Like, where the hell have I been? I don't know if you drink. I don't know what kind of drink you like. And I want to know what's going on with you. We haven't had any in-depth conversations like we had before. And I want to get back to that. And talking about how he's been there for his sisters. But she said, I shouldn't have did that to you. You weren't supposed to be the caretaker at 24. That wasn't your job. But Nico didn't mind it because while he was grieving, he was going through his own emotions. He figured being there for his sisters would have been good for him because he wanted to be there, be the father figure, be that safe space for them. And Chloe really appreciates that. And she wants him to know that he is very valuable to her. I want us to hang out. I want us to get to know each other better than what we was before. And because she depended on him so much when they were growing up together, he filled that space like her husband used to. But you didn't need to, and I appreciate you doing that. I love you for that. This is reminding me of me and my mom because I was kind of the caretaker of my baby sister when my mom went back to work. And I did it for about 1.5 years. I was there every morning taking care of my baby sister when she was super, super little, literally like around 1. I was playing with her, keeping her occupied, changing her. I literally became the second mom for a while. And my mom told me that she wished she didn't do that to me. It wasn't my job to do that. I was like, what, 19, 20 at the time? And she said, you shouldn't have had that responsibility. It was me. I should have just bite the bullet, quit my job. But I never resented that towards my mother. I wanted to be there for her because I'm always going to be there for my mother. So I can recognize what Nico is saying about wanting to be there for his sisters and his mom. I can completely recognize that. And she said, I forgot about you and I shouldn't have done it. I want to apologize to you and I was wrong. She said, how can I do that to my boy? How could I? Because where would I be without you? You have always been there for me. How can I do that to you? She was very emotional, very apologetic. You could see in her son's face that he is listening. I wanted him to speak up, but at the same time, he just wanted to get his mom the space to get it all out because he needed to hear it. Because I'm not sure if Chloe has ever appreciated him or told him that she appreciated him. And the way that she handled her grief wasn't the right way, but there's no right way to grieve. Same with him. And he even said he was going through his own mental health struggles. And that's probably why he hasn't been at the studio like he needed to, because he thought about what his stepfather would say. So that's been a block because maybe her husband was also an intricate part of showing him support of being a rapper as well. Hence why he hasn't figured out what he can do with it, because he misses her husband as well. And it's also part of his journey, and Chloe didn't realize it because she didn't know, because she hasn't tapped in to understand him. Now she gets it. And she's telling him, the guy tells him, listen, the guy that I'm dating, he's in the back. I'm not going to let nobody take priority over you and your sisters. You guys are first and foremost the most important things in my life. So listen, you want to be a rapper? I want to support you. If you need money, I will invest. I want to be there to support your plan. He wants to put faith into his dreams, as he should, of making out to be a rapper. And she's like, okay, so what if that don't work out? What do you want to do? He said, no, I'm going to be a rapper. I know you want me to go to college. I know you want me to do all this and that, but I don't see myself going to school. I don't see myself being a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. But I don't disagree with Chloe trying to push that into his head. Pick up a trade is nothing wrong. You can still pick up a trade while still moving towards your dreams. Lots of people have done it. And feel like maybe that's all he ever wanted from her. Not to change his mind about wanting to do other things and being a rapper, but I guess just show up for what he want to do right now, which is be a rapper. support him. Like she said, I want to invest. I want to be there, come up with a music plan for you. I'm willing to do that for you because I'm your mama. I want you to be happy. And she was so happy for this conversation. She felt like a weight has been lifted. She wants to continue on with building a better relationship with her son. They both love each other, the way they hug each other. He loves his mama so much. She loves her son so much. I'm just seeing her apologize to him and appreciate him. It got me teary-eyed because this was so beautiful to watch, so beautiful to see a real life conversation that a mom is able to recognize the part that she played and how her son has been feeling and acting. Love it. This is a way different conversation they first had that wasn't good. This is so much better. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Nico. I love it, love it, love it. I hope it doesn't stop there. I hope you guys continue on with growing with each other. But we're moving on. We're at the final scene. That's with Chloe, Shaniqua, and Ro. If I've been saying Shanita all this time, it's because I really don't want to talk about this lady. So, Chloe was like, listen, I don't do public altercations. I don't do fights. I'm a classy lady when I want to be. And I'm just taken aback about Shaniqua's behavior because I'm a believer of second chances. So I'm gonna see how this conversation can go, and maybe if she can move forward with the group. She don't have to, Chloe. If you want to form a relationship with her, you can. Don't force her on us or the other ladies. So before Ro gets there, she asks her, how did it happen? Like, what is going on? She instantly pointed out how Ro was standoffish. Chloe defended the fact that Ro is like that when it comes to meeting new people, but she is a really nice person once you get to know her. And Ro was like, listen, I'm not used to giving people first, second, third, fourth, fifth chances. Once you cross me, you don't exist ever in life, okay? But of course, she's trying to turn a new leaf, okay? She's trying to give somebody that's worth a second chance. So when Ro sits down, Chloe asks Shaniqua, how did we get here, okay? It got there once she put the receipt on the table. And her energy had nothing to do with Ro. It was all for Tori, but Tori barely responded to you. But Ro was more reactive to the information because why would you put all that out on the table? What was the point of that? And I have to agree with Ro because watching Shaniqua put all that energy on Tori because she didn't know her, Ro said it felt like you were bullying her. And with the way you came at me and how you called me out my name after I called you a weirdo, it's like those are two different things because now it's a waste of a conversation because you don't want to be honest about what you did was wrong because you want to call me out by my energy. No, 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 no. Whether or not I called you out for you popping up everywhere, that don't take away the fact that you did way too much. So because Shaniqua came in hot, it felt like a bully. I agree with Ro because to do all this to prove that you know Tori, she knows you, was too much. Ro mentioned how her daughter was bullied in school. She's been the one to bully the bully. So I didn't like that. And then Shaniqua pulls out the bully card as well about, how she looked, how tall she was, and everything in between. So she has that trigger mentality as well. But you use it at the wrong moment. So you trying to connect with Ro. It could be real, it could be authentic, but you still don't want to be accountable about the way you came across. So, of course, being weary about giving her another chance, it's like, what do I do with this? Because Ro has definitely stood up for a lot of people in her life, people who she thought were her friends. Turns out they have betrayed her, they have set her up, they have hurt her in a lot of ways. So she is very weary when it comes to creating friendships and also moving forward with somebody that have hurt her in the process. She has gone above and beyond for her friendships, but of course, in return, it hasn't always gone well. So, of course, I be mindful and guarded about how I move when it comes to being a friend. Because I'm not too sure if anybody will recognize how far I will go for my friends. Like I said, Shaniqua wanted to share the exact same story, but if you felt all of that, then why target Tori for that? Why should she receive all of that rage and emotion from you? And listen, as much as, the story kind of affected Ro for a little bit, it still doesn't change the perception that you gave her. So she did apologize for calling out her name like she should have. It was wrong for her to do it. It will never happen again. Ro is definitely taken aback about how honest she is and how she experienced everything. And this is the first time she is actually considering moving on with something, moving forward with somebody after their first interaction. But of course, just because we're moving forward doesn't mean we're going to be best friends. And it doesn't mean we're going to move on to being friends. It just shows us having mutual respect. So listen, Chloe is a believer of second chances. Ro, not so much, which I love about her for that. But of course, you know, giving her kudos for having this honest conversation, for us and being cordial, for having that acknowledgement. That is cool. Like, just because I'm cool with somebody don't mean I can't talk to them, doesn't mean I can't say, hey, how you doing? It's just that I've come to understand them a bit better. But it also can give me the understanding that I know I can't really fool this person again. Because I'm not looking for new friends. I'm not looking for a friendship. It is what it is. And so they all left to get a drink, and that's the end of the episode. This was a cool episode. I'm not going to hold y'all. I enjoyed it. I really did. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to make friends with everybody. You can have a disagreement. You can move forward. But of course, if somebody shows you how they are from the first interaction, you believe it. But of course, you don't hate that person. You just move accordingly next time. Which I think that's what Ro was on, and I'm proud of her for that. Proud how this all came about. I don't want Shaniqua on my screen. I don't want her around no more. Okay? Let her go to another reality show. Y'all could have brought her in on the second season, because we're just getting to know these ladies for the first time, and we're still scratching the surface about who they are and what they have going on. So let us have that. But other than that, very proud of how this turned out. I'm happy about this episode. I can't wait for tomorrow's episode. So please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm see you guys later. Bye.